Yeah.
in a percentage, but I'm not sure which figures need to be shown.
I'll show you what I mean with this conditional format. It's a really powerful, let me just check that's recording. Yeah, it is. It's a really powerful function, is what they call conditional formatting. And this is a really good spreadsheet to introduce you to it. So, right, imagine, right, what we know now, right, so far with the spreadsheet complete now, is that Tesco is the most, Ocado is the most expensive. If you only shop at Ocado for these items, Ocado is the most expensive, yeah?
Yes.
£19.48. Followed by Asda, followed by Tesco, and Sainsbury's is the cheapest. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I wanted to show.
Yeah.
You know.
But there's another option, isn't there? Because although Sainsbury's is the cheapest, if you only go to Sainsbury's, if you shop around, you can actually beat that. Because if you look at the total for the cheapest column, it's actually, if you go to whatever supermarket has got the item cheapest, you can actually beat the Sainsbury's total by best part of £1, which might be important to you if you're a student or if you're an old age pensioner or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the cheapest thing, if all you're worried about is getting the best deal, basically spending as little money as possible, then actually what you wouldn't do is go to any one supermarket. You'd go to wherever it was cheapest. So, for example, for milk, you'd go to Ocado. Yeah.
Yeah.
For bread, you'd go to Ocado as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for cheese, you'd go to Sainsbury's. Yeah. But it's quite hard to see that, isn't it? It's quite hard to see where these things are. Like, for example, washing powder, it's Asda. But I have to look quite carefully to see which is the cheapest. For example, washing up liquid. Where would you go to get the best deal on washing up liquid?
I actually wrote that down somewhere on another page. Washing up liquid would be Asda.
Yeah, but that takes a few seconds to work it out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's a way around that, though. That's this thing called conditional formatting. Okay, I'll show you how that works. What you do, right, is you highlight. We'll start with milk. Okay, you highlight the whole of the milk column, but including the cheapest column as well. So all of the milk prices, including the cheapest price in column F. Yeah.
You need Tesco as well.
Oh, it looks like Tesco isn't highlighted, but it is actually. I'll show you. It always does.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. Good. You're quite right, though. It does look like Tesco isn't highlighted. But if I highlight a range of cells over here, starting with that one, the first one you highlight is always it's not grey. It's just white. Okay. But if you look at the box around it, you can see the cells that are highlighted. Yeah. So I'm highlighting all of those cells there. Yeah.
Yeah.
B2 right to F2. Okay. What we're going to get it to do, right, is we're going to get it to highlight with a color, like we're going to use a pink color to highlight whichever supermarket has got the cheapest price on milk for that week, automatically, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now one way you could do it, actually, now if I'll tell you what, having said that, I'm just going to highlight those, actually, sorry. I'm just going to highlight the prices of milk. I'm not going to include F2 in it, just B2 to E2, so just the prices of milk at the 4 supermarkets, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, right. I'm going to go to, you see up here, conditional formatting.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring that menu down, and I'm going to, there's loads of options here. It's a very powerful technique, this conditional formatting, but I'm going to choose highlight cell rules and equal to, okay? Highlight cell. I don't know if you're the kind of person that likes to make a note of this, perhaps I'm going along.
I'm just trying to get it down.
So conditional formatting.
Equal to.
And then equal to, okay? Conditional formatting, highlight cell rules equal to.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to click on equal to, and this little dialog box pops up, okay?
Yeah.
And let me just highlight those again. There we go. And what it will do is, in this cell here, I put in here what I want to highlight. I want it to highlight the smallest number, so I could put £1.52 in there. And can you see it's highlighted? You can just about see it there. It's not easy to see, but because the cells are still highlighted, but it has just highlighted the £1.52 there in a nice sort of pink colour with red writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy to see because there's a couple of cells, they're all highlighted really. But if I click OK, in fact, you'll be able to see it quite easily. Can you see it's highlighted the cheapest?
Yeah.
It's highlighted the Ocado. Okay? If I was to do that for all of these items, you'd be able to see this sort of pathway down through them that would tell you exactly where to go to buy the bread and the cheese and everything as well. Okay.
Okay.
See that? Except for there's one slight problem with it though, and that is a bit like I said earlier on. These prices will change in future, won't they? It won't.
Yeah.
£1.52 won't always be the cheapest milk. Sometimes it might be £1.50 or something like that. So we've got to be a little bit cleverer about it. Okay. So I'm going to undo the conditional formatting there. What we want it to do is get it to highlight in this range of cells I've got here, B2 to E2, whatever it says in that cell there, even if it changes. Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? That's the only tricky bit of this conditional formatting really, is just getting your head around that bit. Is what you want the spreadsheet to do is look at the figure in that cell there and highlight that cell in red in that group of cells there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if I was doing it manually, I'd do this. Okay, I'd look in there. It says £1.52. I'd highlight that cell in some colour or other. If I was doing it myself, I'd do the same there, for example. Yeah, and then I'd do that. If I was doing it myself, but remember, one of the things with spreadsheets is you don't do it yourself. You get the spreadsheet to do all the hard work. Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem with doing that, though, of course, is if any of these figures change, if it has to change the price of milk to £1.49, then it's now wrong. £1.52 isn't the cheapest price anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why you always try and get the spreadsheet to do it for you if you possibly can, because it's quicker and it'll respond to any changes in the future as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So when I do that again, when I do the conditional formatting and I highlight these cells here, and I go conditional formatting, highlight cell rules equal to, I don't put £1.52 or £1.53 or anything in here. What I do is I click on F2 like that. Yeah. So what it's doing now is it's not looking for a particular number like £1.52, £1.51 or whatever. It's looking at whatever is in F2. Yeah. In fact, you can kind of see there. You can see that says F2 in here.
Yeah.
It's got some dollar signs in there as well. Don't worry about those for now. We'll cover those later on. But you're basically telling it to look at F2 and any cells in the Tesco, Asda, or Sainsbury's or Ocado cells that are the same, it'll highlight them in red. It's quite tough this, but you're sort of keeping. Does that make sense, Kathy? Yeah.
It does make sense. Yeah.
If you can manage to get your head around conditional formatting, it's such a powerful tool in spreadsheets. You'll use it all over the place, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I click OK now, and just unhighlight those cells by clicking somewhere else, you can see now that it's highlighted Ocado because that's the cheapest. But if Asda becomes the cheapest, watch this. It highlights that.
Oh wow, that's good. That's
the following week, if Sainsbury's cut the price, it highlights that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It always reacts, as well as being quicker than doing it yourself. Once you know the technique, it will react to any changes in price week by week. Yeah. Right. The thing is, and there's a bit of legwork to be done here because I'll have to do that for all the items. Okay. So I'll highlight all the bread prices. I'll go conditional formatting, highlight cell rules equal to, and then click on the cell in the F column that corresponds to the cheapest price, like that. Okay, which this week is 74p, but it won't always be. And then I click OK, and it's done it for the bread now as well.
Yeah.
And if the price of bread changes, if that changes to 70p, then the highlighting changes. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're able to do this for all the items, cheese, washing powder, everything else, what you'll end up with is a very quick way of seeing where you have to go to buy the milk, where you have to go to buy the bread, where you have to go to buy the cheese. Yeah. And also you'll have learned a very important technique called conditional formatting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just do the next one for you. So you highlight all the prices of cheese. You go conditional formatting, highlight cell rules equal to, and you just click on the cell in column F, which has got the cheapest price of cheese in it. In this case, it's F4.
Yeah.
You hit OK, and you can see what it's done. It's highlighted the Sainsbury's, because that's where cheese is cheapest.
That's brilliant.
It is. I tell you, we'll use this a lot. If you get your head around it, we'll use it a lot right the way through the unit. Conditional formatting, it's called. Yeah, it's a little bit like a graph, isn't it? You were after a graph, but I think, can you see how this? It kind of is a graph, but it's a very useful graph kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe perhaps what you were thinking of was having a graph of all the prices, but I think this is actually more useful, actually on a week-to-week basis for the student or the old age pension or whatever, or the single parent that would find this useful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So now nobody ever learnt anything by watching somebody else do it. So I think you could go and have a go at that yourself. And when you've finished, just email it to me.
Yeah.
And then I'll know you've done it. Okay.
Okay, Andrew. Yeah. Do you prefer Andrew or Andy?
Andy, please.
Andy. And I'm Kathy.
We understand each other then now. Kathy and Andy.
Catherine is my naughty name.
Okie dokie. If I forget, just let me know. Okay.
Andy, before we go, can I leave